Good evening. I'm Mr. Core Appleton, and you are tuned in to BNN, the Body News Network, the only news channel broadcasting live from inside the human body. We interrupt your regularly scheduled programming for a breaking news alert of the highest urgency.
Welcome to BNN, the Body News Network. I'm Mr. Core Appleton, and we are interrupting your regularly scheduled circulation for a developing crisis. Right now, inside host subject 42, a rogue cholesterol faction is launching a full-scale assault on Heart Sector 7. This is not a drill. Arterial highways are gridlocked, endothelial walls are breaching. Oxygen shipments are stalling at the coronary checkpoint. Medical analysts confirm LDL particles are embedding deep into the vascular lining, triggering a cascade of cellular panic. White blood cells are swarming the breach, but they are completely overwhelmed. Our field team is mobilizing through the bloodstream as we speak, navigating a treacherous landscape of inflammatory debris and sticky plaque formations. Early telemetry suggests this siege has been brewing for years, silently, patiently waiting for the perfect metabolic breakdown. What triggered this sudden escalation? How close are we to total cardiac lockdown? And can the host's immune defenses mount a counteroffensive before the pressure gauge redlines? We are tracking every pulse, every spike, every microscopic fracture in real time. The stakes are literally life and death. Stay locked to this frequency. We go live to the front lines in 3, 2, 1. The body never lies, and today it is screaming for answers. Do not adjust your speakers. The truth is pumping through your veins right now. I'm broadcasting live from the left anterior descending artery, and the scene down here is absolute chaos. The current is violently turbulent. I'm dodging rogue platelets and wading through a thick yellowish sludge that coats every surface. You can literally hear the vessel walls groaning under the pressure. It smells like oxidized lipids and sheer metabolic exhaustion down here. Behind me, a massive plaque rupture is spilling fatty debris directly into the coronary stream. Red blood cells are pile driving into the blockage, creating a dangerous traffic jam that's starving the heart muscle of vital oxygen. I've got visual on the ringleader, a heavily armored LDL convoy fortifying the breach with calcium. Deposits and inflammatory foam cells, they're digging in for a long siege. The heat is rising, the pH is dropping, and the endothelial lining is literally peeling away in strips. I'm pushing through the turbulence to get answers. Why launch this attack now? What broke the truce? We've monitored stable flow for decades, so why the sudden coordinated strike on Heart Sector 7? Talk to me. Because millions of cellular workers are counting on a response before the rhythm collapses entirely. The clock is ticking, the pressure is spiking, and this artery is one fracture away from total shutdown.
Before we go any further, if you're not subscribed to BNN yet, hit that subscribe button right now and tap the bell so you never miss a live report from inside your own body. We drop new episodes every week, and trust me, you do not want to be the last person to know what's happening in there. While you're at it, smash that like button. It takes 1 second, and it tells YouTube this episode matters, which means more people get the health facts they actually need. Drop a comment below. Tell us what villain you want BNN to investigate next. We read every single one. And if you know someone who smokes, who's stressed, who skips sleep, or lives on fast food, share this episode with them. Not to lecture them, just to let BNN do it instead. And if you're listening on the go, save this episode for offline so you never lose your place. All right, the body is under attack. Let's get back to the broadcast.
Oh, please spare me the dramatic gasping. You act like I'm some uninvited monster crashing a pristine paradise. Let's get one thing straight. I didn't start this war. I was invited. Every single greasy drive-through bag, every midnight cheese platter, every stress-induced cortisol spike rolled out the red carpet for my arrival. You want to know why I'm striking now? Because the host finally crossed the threshold. Years of ignoring the warning signs. The sluggish mornings, the heavy breathing, the stubborn waistline expansion could a perfect architectural blueprint for my empire. I'm not attacking Heart Sector 7 out of malice. I'm simply claiming real estate that was generously donated through decades of convenient negligence. My LDL carriers aren't invaders. They're delivery trucks responding to constant demand. When the liver screams for more raw materials to patch stress fractures, I answer the call. The inflammation? That's just your precious immune system overreacting to my perfectly normal construction work. I don't force anyone to skip the vegetables or mainline processed sugar. I just capitalize on the chaos. So don't blame the builder when the foundation was poured with butter and denial. I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, thriving in the beautiful, predictable wreckage of human convenience. Back in the studio, we're analyzing that stunning confession. What you just heard confirms a critical physiological reality. Cholesterol itself isn't inherently evil. It's a vital structural component, essential for hormone production and cellular repair. The crisis emerges when low-density lipoproteins oxidize and embed within damaged endothelial tissue. When arterial walls suffer microscopic tears from elevated blood pressure or chronic inflammation, the body dispatches cholesterol as a biological patch. But when the host continuously floods the system with refined carbohydrates and trans fats, that emergency repair crew becomes a permanent occupation force. Macrophages consume the excess, transforming into foam cells that accumulate into dangerous plaque. Over time, these deposits calcify, narrowing the passageway and restricting vital blood flow. The real danger isn't the cholesterol itself, it's the hostile environment that transforms a maintenance worker into a barricade. Our telemetry shows host subject 42's inflammatory markers are currently triple the safe baseline. C-reactive protein is surging. Nitric oxide production has plummeted, leaving the vessels stiff and unresponsive. This is a textbook case of metabolic mismatch. The body is begging for balance, but the supply chain keeps delivering sabotage. We're monitoring the coronary pressure gauge as it climbs toward critical thresholds. The next phase of this siege depends entirely on lifestyle reinforcements. Triple the safe base. I've pushed past the initial blockage and I'm now wedged against the coronary bend, and the conditions down here are deteriorating rapidly. The vessel walls are pulsing with angry, swollen inflammation. I can feel the heat radiating through my boots as cytokine flares light up the darkness like warning sirens. The current is thickening into a syrupy sludge. Every heartbeat sends a shockwave that rattles my teeth and shakes loose more calcified debris. I'm watching smooth muscle cells migrate inward, desperately trying to wall off the expanding plaque, but they're just adding bulk to the barricade. The oxygen sensors are flashing crimson. Cardiac muscle fibers downstream are gasping, switching to anaerobic metabolism just to survive the squeeze. I've tracked the cholesterol commander to the epicenter of the rupture. They're orchestrating a full loop. What daily habits are handing you the blueprints? What invisible routines are turning this artery into a fortress? Give me the truth, because the heart's electrical grid is flickering and we're running out of clearance. You want the blueprint? Check the host's nightly routine. It's a masterclass in self-sabotage. First, the 3 a.m. doom-scrolling sessions that murder melatonin and spike cortisol like a broken fire hydrant. Sleep deprivation isn't just exhaustion. It's a biochemical welcome mat for my entire fleet. Then comes the morning cigarette, beautifully constricting these vessels while pumping carbon monoxide. Straight into the bloodstream. You think that's harmless? It literally strips the endothelial lining bare, handing me fresh drywall to plaster over. And let's not forget the stress-eating marathons. Every salty, sugar-glazed pastry triggers an insulin tsunami that turns these arteries into sticky glue traps. I don't even have to work hard. The host literally marinated this cardiovascular system, surrendered to chronic anxiety and trans fats. I'm just the contractor, capitalizing on a renovation project funded by sleepless nights and emotional turmoil.
They pop a multivitamin and call it prevention while mainlining espresso to survive another 16-hour grind. I'm not invading, I'm inheriting every skipped workout. Every midnight screen glow, every deep-fried coping mechanism signs another deed over to my empire. The vascular damage compounds hourly, transforming flexible pathways into rigid, crumbling tunnels that practically beg for my structural reinforcements. Keep handing me the keys. I'll keep building the fortress.
We return to the studio with critical metabolic updates. That candid admission reveals a devastating physiological cascade. When sleep architecture collapses, cortisol remains chronically elevated, directly impairing endothelial repair mechanisms. Simultaneously, nicotine exposure triggers immediate vasoconstriction, reducing arterial diameter by nearly 20% within minutes. Combine that with repeated insulin surges from processed carbohydrates, and you create a perfect storm of glycation end products that literally caramelize vessel walls. The science is unambiguous. Chronic stress and nutritional neglect transform flexible highways into brittle, inflamed corridors. Our biometric scanners confirm host subject 42's resting heart rate has climbed 12 beats above baseline, while heart rate variability has plummeted into the danger zone. This autonomic imbalance forces the sympathetic nervous system into overdrive, flooding the bloodstream with catecholamines that accelerate plaque instability. The villain isn't fabricating threats, they're exploiting documented metabolic vulnerabilities. Every skipped recovery window, every emotional eating cycle, every artificial stimulant compounds the structural debt. The body keeps meticulous ledgers, and right now the cardiovascular account is severely overdrawn. We're tracking microfractures spreading along the coronary bifurcation. I'm bracing against a violent pressure wave as the coronary tunnel narrows to a terrifying slit. The walls are trembling. I can hear the cardiac muscle downstream crying out for oxygen. The cells are stacking like sandbags, and the fibrin mesh is hardening into a concrete barricade. My visor is fogging with inflammatory vapor, and the current is practically stagnant. I've locked onto the cholesterol commander one last time, standing atop a calcified ridge like a general surveying a conquered province. The host pulse is erratic, struggling to push through this suffocating blockade. We're minutes from a critical ischemic event. So I'm asking the final question, and I need a straight answer. What actually stops this siege? What concrete actions can dismantle this fortress before the heart muscle suffocates? Is there a metabolic counterattack that can dissolve these walls, restore the flow, and reclaim this territory? Don't give me the corporate spin. Tell us the exact protocol that forces your empire to collapse. Because millions of cellular citizens are holding their breath, the electrical nodes are misfiring, and this entire sector is one clot away from permanent darkness. The clock is bleeding out. Give us the off switch.
You want the off switch? Fine, but you're going to hate the price tag. First, shut down the all-night screen marathons and actually sleep 7 hours. Melatonin isn't a luxury, it's my kryptonite.
It triggers autophagy that literally sweeps my construction crews into the cellular trash. Second, drop the fried comfort food and flood this system with soluble fiber and omega-3 fatty acids. Those compounds bind to my carriers and escort them straight to the liver for demolition. You think I fear statins? Please. I fear roasted salmon and daily brisk walking. 30 minutes of elevated heart rate boost HDL patrols that scrape my plaques off the walls like pressure washers. Cut the cigarettes, lower the cortisol, and suddenly my entire supply chain starves. I thrive on stagnation and sugar crashes. Give me consistent movement, hydration, and actual vegetables, and my empire crumbles within 90 days. The hilarious tragedy? The host already knows the blueprint. They just prefer the convenient slow poison over the disciplined daily grind. So go ahead, prescribe the sweat, the sleep, and the leafy greens. I'll pack my calcium deposits and retreat. But we both know they'll probably just order another pizza and hope for a miracle. Your move. Back in the studio, the verdict is unequivocal. The siege on Heart Sector 7 isn't a random biological accident, it's a direct invoice for years of metabolic neglect. Cholesterol doesn't conquer healthy arteries, it colonizes damaged ones. The warning is clear: ignore sleep, chronically elevate stress, and fuel your body with processed shortcuts, and you are literally financing your own cardiovascular collapse. But the reversal protocol is equally proven. Prioritize 7 to 8 hours of uninterrupted rest, replace inflammatory fats with fiber-rich plants. And omega-3 sources. Move your body daily to stimulate protective HDL circulation. Eliminate nicotine and manage cortisol through deliberate breathing and consistent routines. These aren't trendy hacks. They are non-negotiable physiological requirements. Your endothelial lining can repair itself, but only when you stop handing the enemy the blueprints. The heart is remarkably forgiving. Yet it keeps an exact tally of every choice you make. Start today. Not Monday, not after the next scare. Today. If this broadcast opened your eyes to the silent war inside your veins, please subscribe to BNN. Like this episode and share it with someone you love. Your body is listening. Make sure it hears the right orders. This is Mr. Core Appleton, signing off from the Control Center. Stay vigilant.